In this video, we're going to talk about the dangers of screen time. Hey, it's Morgan here with Passable Parent, where we help you improve developmental outcomes for your child. I've been a pediatric nurse for the past 10 years, specializing in early childhood development, and I'm also a new mom. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. To discuss the dangers of screen time, today we have with us Linda. She's been a pediatric nurse for the past 35 plus years. She works with early intervention. For any of you who don't know what that is, early intervention is actually working with children from birth to 3 years old to enhance their development. Hi Linda, thanks for joining us today.
Hi Morgan, thanks for having me.
Starting off, screen time, the dangers with it. This is a very controversial topic. I know there are many parents who rely on screen time. In other videos, I'll be discussing with you alternative things you can do with your child or baby in place of using screens. Because I know many parents struggle and they just don't know what else to do with their baby during this time. That all being said, let's dive into it. Let's talk about the dangers of screen time. The American Academy of Pediatrics actually recommends no screen time whatsoever for children until the ages of 18 to 24 months, with the exception of FaceTime with a trusted parent or adult present. Now, in today's society and world, technology is everywhere. This just might not be realistic. Linda, you actually work with children from birth to 3 years old, and you see a lot of families that struggle with this exact issue. You also see a lot of the negatives associated with screen time.
Screen time is something that we see lots of families struggle with, trying to limit that for their children. So I think that future videos giving parents options and ideas for things that they can do with their children from birth to 18, 24, 36 months, really to limit that screen time for them is going to be hugely beneficial. What we see now is with infants, parents will say they'll do floor time and they'll use the TV for that instead of a mirror or other toys that could pique the baby's interest. A lot of parents think that their children are learning when they're watching what's marketed as an educational video. But all the research has shown, and there's lots of research to support showing that children before the age of 24 months are not learning from a video. Children 24 to 36 months are not learning from a video. They're learning from their parents, they're learning from the caregivers, they're learning from the people who are important to them. So recent studies that have been done, they've actually taken children who are between the ages of 24 and 36 months, and they taught them in person, and then they taught them the same simple action on a screen. When the children were put into a room to find and imitate this action that was on the screen, none of the children in the study that learned this on the screen were able to imitate it, but all of the children who were taught this in person were able to imitate it. They hid an object on the screen, and it was the same room setting on the screen, and then they had a room set up that the children were in, and they hid an object. They took all the children and then took them into another room, decorated the same way with the object hidden in the same place, and the children that saw this happen on the screen were not able to imitate that. And we know in early intervention, we know that the foundational skill for communication, the foundational skill for talking is imitation. So we really need to be thinking about, we want our kids imitating us. They need to imitate in play. You start with imitation in play. When you're watching TV, you're losing that opportunity, those teachable learning moments, to be playing with your child with just a block, banging 2 blocks together, and the child imitating that. So that's where we see the danger in screen time. You have your infant, and then they start becoming that 1-year-old who expects to be entertained by the TV. They're not learning and they're not imitating. So it's taking away those teachable moments that you could be spending with your child, singing those same songs, doing finger plays. Nurse Morgan's going to show you lots of activities that you could do with your child in place of that screen time, because the screen time is not teaching your child. Please take the time to look at these studies, see what the American Pediatric Association is saying. Look at early intervention.
Many studies have actually shown that Children, when they go to take a screening test at 36 months, they struggle with cognitive development, behavioral development. They have problems with social development. These are all things that we see. These are all dangers. But the good news is it's reversible. It doesn't have to be this way. You have the tools, you have the information, and I'm gonna make a lot of content, put it out there to help you have the tools in your toolbox so that you know what to do with your child, your baby instead. Linda actually works firsthand with children, again, from birth to 3, and she sees these dangers, these effects of prolonged screen time and screen time usage in place of interactive play between parents and their children. Linda, can you tell us a little bit about how it is reversible once parents limit the screens, use it in moderation? Maybe it's not 100% realistic for you to completely eliminate screens, but definitely cutting back and eliminating a lot of the screen time usage is beneficial.
Yeah, Nurse Morgan, it's amazing how we can evaluate a child and see delays in either their cognitive skills or personal social skills or their language skills. And one of the things that parents report is how much that child really enjoys watching TV. The child is sitting and being entertained, so it's understandable why they like watching it. And TV's marketed, it's marketed as educational. So now that you know better, watching this video, you know better. So think about limiting that time. Parents, that's one change that they can make in their child's life that we have seen over and over again have a great effect. Within a week, parents will call and say, wow, I limited that TV time and it's amazing how much more sounds my child's making. It's amazing how they're speaking. It really is amazing when we evaluate a child, we find that there are lower scores within communication or cognition or their personal social skills. Parents will sometimes say how much that child likes to watch TV. And that started in infancy. You know, it's entertaining and it's simple and it's easy. And we all understand that everybody's busy and that the TV really does entertain a child. But again, it's not there to educate your child. That is false advertising. That is not true. Please look at the studies. The TV does not teach your child. You teach your child. Their caregivers teach them. Any person in their life that's interacting with them, that relationship that they have with a person is what's going to teach them. So when we go into a home and a parent says, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Now you all know better. So limit that TV time. We've gone in, we've done an evaluation, and the parents that day will decide that they want to limit the TV time for their child. And if we go back 2-3 weeks later, that child has had a huge increase in the words that they're using, in the sounds that they're using, in the way that they are engaging with their caretakers. So limiting that TV time, just think about it. Think about limiting it and keeping it. I know, again, like Nurse Morgan was saying, the American Pediatric Association is saying absolutely no TV. I don't know if that's real for you or not. If it's not, just really think about what you're doing now to start cutting it back and cutting it back and cutting it back.
Exactly. And, you know, as parents, we have to make a lot of difficult choices. There's definitely things we can do to improve. Whatever you can do to cut back that time. They say Rome wasn't built in a day, so there's no reason to feel bad about what's done. Just trying to improve and make a couple changes, and you will see drastic results with your child as soon as you start cutting back on that screen time, which is amazing. That's an amazing positive thing, that little steps you can take today will help reverse or change outcomes for your child. And don't forget to follow along, because I can't wait to show you my ideas and different tools that you can implement to better interact with your child and to improve future outcomes for your child developmentally. So again, like and subscribe. I can't wait to see you next time.
Bye.